In this video, we will discuss carbohydrates with a focus on the simple carbs. Carbohydrates are a critical part of the diet. The recommended intake is 45 to 65%. In other words, of the calories you consume, 45 to 65% should come from carbohydrates. If that is surprising to you, it might be worth pausing and considering why that is. Where did you get the information about carbohydrates? Was it a reliable source? The reason so much of our diet should come from carbohydrates is because of its function in our bodies. Carbohydrate is the preferred source of energy in every cell within our body. Glucose, which we will talk about in a few moments, is used first by all cells for energy. Some of our cells, like the brain, require glucose almost exclusively, not being able to substitute fat to fuel the cells. Children and adults need at least 130 grams of carbohydrate each day for adequate brain function. Let's take a look at the different types of carbohydrate. The simplest way to categorize them is simple versus complex. We will begin with the simple carbohydrates, which are the monosaccharides and the disaccharides. There are three monosaccharides known as glucose, fructose, and galactose. The prefix mono means one, and saccharide means sugar. So the name monosaccharide explains exactly what it is. These are single molecules of sugar that require no digestion. In other words, when you consume any of these three monosaccharides, they are immediately absorbed into the bloodstream in their whole form within the small intestine. Glucose, we just mentioned, is the fuel that all cells use for energy. While some cells can use alternative nutrients like fat, they will always use glucose first. You likely have heard about fructose. It is often known as the fruit sugar. Galactose is not found free in nature. It is always attached to another monosaccharide, as we will talk about in a moment. The next category of simple carbs is the disaccharides. The prefix di means two, so the disaccharides are composed of two sugar molecules. There are three disaccharides known as sucrose, lactose, and maltose. Note the two monosaccharides that make up each of the disaccharides. You will need to know these. The graphic on this slide are color-coded with the monosaccharides to make it easier for you to remember. Sucrose, which we refer to as table sugar, is made up of glucose and fructose. Lactose is made up of glucose and galactose. Remember, I said galactose is not naturally found free. It is attached to glucose in our favorite milk sugar, lactose. The last disaccharide is maltose, which contains two glucose molecules. Since the disaccharides have one bond connecting the two monosaccharides, when consumed, the body must break the bonds so the monosaccharides can be absorbed. Remember from the digestion chapter, only single sugar molecules can be absorbed. This is a simple and quick digestion at the brush border of the small intestine. It takes little time and effort for the body. So we could say that the simple carbohydrates require little to no digestion.